With Universal's newest theme park, Epic Universe, opening sometime next year, Universal has begun to give official details on each land opening at the resort. In this episode of Epic Universe A Closer Look, we'll be discussing everything coming to How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk using official details from Universal and rumors from sites like Theme Park Stop. How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk is the largest world at Epic Universe, aside from the hub of the resort, Celestial Park. Taking up 15.5 acres of land, this world will feature the most attractions at Epic Universe. With over 162,000 square feet of rockwork and hundreds of buckets, barrels, and crates throughout the land, Universal has claimed Isle of Berk is a Viking-sized area. In fact, the first thing you see when walking through its entry portal is two massive fire-breathing statues. The scale of this land is complemented by a bright color scheme, inspired by the colors of the dragons who live inside. This land takes place between the second and third films, where the Vikings who call Isle of Berk their home decide to live in harmony with the dragons. Universal calls it Berk 2.5, with several locations from the films recreated within this land. There's Hiccup's house, the dragon racing bleachers, and even Gobber's forge. Speaking of Gobber's forge, let's talk about what might be the most important element of this land, the dragons. Dragons will be all around the Isle of Berk, with 30 animated and static dragon figures scattered around the land. You'll be able to meet some of these dragons face to face, including one experience found within Gobber's forge. Here, you'll be able to meet Gobber and his dragon Grump. However, that's far from the only meet and greet in the land. Other favorite characters like Rough Nut and Tough Nut will be walking around the land, along with Astrid and her dragon Stormfly. Most exciting of all, however, is a close-up meet and greet with Toothless himself. Hiccup and Toothless should both be located around the Untrainable Dragon stage show, with the experience meant to mimic the initial bond these two characters have. Guests will be able to reach out and touch Toothless just like Hiccup does in the original film. Toothless himself should be part animatronic and part human puppeteered, making it very similar to the raptor encounter at Islands of Adventure, although probably a little less scary. Otherwise, there are plenty of other dragons you can find throughout this land. Some of these dragons might be seen with their heads and tails poking out of dragon houses above the land. Others might be seen on attractions like Hiccup's wing gliders or even pushing the ride vehicles on Dragon Racers Rally. Certain dragons may even be interactive, like this ice dragon seen spraying guests with a cold mist. There have even been rumors from Theme Park Stop of purchasable baby dragons that can interact with bigger dragons throughout the land. This suggests that Universal may be building interactive elements for each of the worlds of Epic Universe, like Harry Potter's wands or Super Nintendo World's power-up bands. Other than that, one final area guests may be able to spot dragons is in the skies. According to current patents and rumors, Universal may be developing dragon drones that will fly around the land. These dragons may be spotted in the skies around Isle of Berk, with Universal hinting that guests may catch a glimpse of dragons flying high above the village. There weren't any exact details given, and the use of the word may suggests this may not come to fruition, but it's worth noting as it would be an exciting and immersive element for the Isle of Berk. Now, let's get into the dining found at the land. Only one location was highlighted by Universal in their announcement video, but the rest were seemingly confirmed by a Universal press release. According to Disney food blog, Spitfire Grill will be located near the Fire Drill attraction, featuring hearty meals served by a helpful dragon fry cook. This will likely be a window service restaurant, where you order food at one building and sit down in a covered area nearby. This covered seating should overlook the Fire Drill attraction, making it a fun place to sit down and relax for a while. Another smaller location is Hooligan's Grog and Gruel, a racing-themed snack stand located within the Viking Camp play area. However, the star of the show is undeniably going to be Mead Hall. This massive structure is located right in the center of the land, featuring massive faux doors standing over 16 feet in height. The interior features massive pillars and tapestries, which continue the idea of everything being Viking-sized. The food should be Viking-sized as well, with Mead Hall offering a variety of meats, fish, and custom alcoholic drinks. There's also been some shops confirmed by press release as well, as reported on by Disney Food Blog. How to Treat Your Dragon will be a candy store located within the main Viking village. As for the rest of the locations, not much is known apart from their names. There's Viking Traders, Hiccup's Workshop, and Toothless's Treasures. These will likely be merchandise shops of some sort, with the concept art showcasing some ideas of what that merchandise may be. There's even been some official merchandise found on the Universal website and in person at the annual Passholder Lounge. Other than that, the only other thing we may know about is the aforementioned baby dragon toys reported on by Orlando Park Stop, although there's no official word on that from Universal. With all that out of the way, let's get into the many attractions on offer for the Isle of Berk. This land has 3 rides, a play area, and even a massive indoor stage show. Let's start off with the star attraction of the land, the Intamin family roller coaster known as Hiccup's Wing Gliders. On this ride, Hiccup has attempted to recreate the feeling of flying on a dragon, building a device where guests can hop on and take a ride. Unfortunately, Toothless gets jealous of the device, sending it on its way before Hiccup has installed the final gliders. Universal describes this attraction as a wild and out-of-control ride, with a top speed of 45 miles per hour. To put that into context, that's 5 miles per hour below the top speed of Hagrid's at Islands of Adventure. That makes it perfect for families, with a minimum height requirement of only 40 inches. This ride should add a ton of kinetic energy to the park, along with featuring several different animatronics and special effects. It's very likely that there will be at least one Toothless animatronic, along with a Hiccup figure spotted early in the ride. Concept art has also been released showcasing a scene with baby Gronkles, although it's unsure if these dragon figures will move or not. One last element I'd like to touch on is the water effects as the coaster surfs on the lake, with cannons spraying at guests on the paths nearby. While there hasn't been many other official details confirmed, all of these elements together make for what is likely to be an extremely exciting attraction. Close by is another ride that's much more than it seems on the surface. Dragon Racers Rally is a Viking-made dragon trainer meant to teach guests how to ride a dragon. The ride itself is a Gerstlauer Skyfly attraction, a flat ride where guests can control how much or how little they'd like to flip. Because of the potential intensity, the minimum height requirement for this attraction is 48 inches. Regardless, whether or not you flip around, the ride should be fun just to hop on and glide a bit. Each side is themed to a different dragon trainer, with one themed to the best dragon trainer Astrid and another themed to the worst Snotlout. It's unlikely that there will be any major differences between these two sides. The purpose of there being 2 of them is to make the ride feel more like a race, with onlookers watching on the stands in the background. There are also 2 dragons on the end of each of these contraptions, spinning riders as they go, which is an adorable touch. Despite the ride's simplicity, I think the customizability of the ride experience makes it perfect for this land. Another unique attraction in this area is the Mock Ride's interactive boat ride Fire Drill. On this ride, the Vikings Rough Nut and Tough Nut have transformed Berk's Fire School into a boat battle where guests compete to outsoak each other. Guests are each given their own water cannon, which shoots 28 feet through the air. Your goal is to aim at targets throughout the ride, along with other boats. However, I don't think this is a shooting dark ride in the same vein as Toy Story Mania. Rather than competing for a high score, my theory is that you're competing to stay as dry as you possibly can. This has yet to be confirmed, but my idea is that the fire targets help to save the town and keep you dry. The purple X targets, on the other hand, cause water to be splashed onto the boat in some way. That, along with the ability to spray other guests both on and off the ride, makes me feel like the objective is not to get wet. Of course, only time will tell if this is actually true, but either way, Fire Drill looks to be a very fun time. Next up, let's talk about the children's play area Viking Training Camp. Here, kids will learn about different classes of dragons from Isle of Berk's resident dragon expert, Fishlegs. According to Universal, this camp will feature multiple towers, an agility course, Viking drums and chimes to play, and other slides and activities. There will even be an interactive sheep launcher game, which might be seen on the concept art here. Finally, let's touch on the stage show coming to the land, the Untrainable Dragon. This show follows the Vikings of Berk as they attempt to solve the mystery of the Untrainable Dragon. While it will be similar to Untrainable at Universal Studios in Beijing, Universal claims this show will take place in a different time period and feature several different characters. Still, many elements of the show remain the same, including the massive toothless puppet that will fly over the audience. This puppet weighs 1,157 pounds, with a wingspan of nearly 27 feet. All of that is to say that this show should be incredibly impressive, with the use of puppetry, animatronics, and projection mapping technology. Even with all those attractions, Isle of Berk still has room for expansion. In the back of the land behind the Untrainable Dragon sits over 1 acre of land that could be used in the future. It's possible this could just be used for staging, or for the dragon drones rumored to be flying overhead, but even still, it's possible that this is just the beginning for the Isle of Berk. For now though, that's everything coming to How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk at Epic Universe. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next Epic Universe analysis, and check out the last episode all about Celestial Park. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.